self-care is how you take your power back. And joining us to talk to us about this and how to take control of your life is motivational speaker and author, Dr. Joseph Mukoroli. Dr. Mukoroli, good morning and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, very interesting topic
Yes.
that we're talking about. To start with, what would you define as self-care?
As self-care. Self-care is the ability to take care of yourself, especially in these tough times that we are living, in the pandemic that we are living. So taking care of yourself, making sure that you are fine, that is self-care.
And what are the practical ways that one can do that?
Well, I'm actually here to talk about taking your power back.
But taking your power back is tying into self-care. So
Yes.
for somebody watching who wants to take their power back and take control of their life through self-care, where do they start? What do they do? How do they go about it?
Self-care means that not neglecting your health, number one. Number two, making sure that you are connected to your loved ones during this tough times, during the pandemic. Number three, making sure that you are in control of your circumstances and that circumstances do not control you. That's what self-care means.
And how, when you practice all of these things, how does this help you to take control of your life?
Okay, so I'm here to talk about taking back your power. Let me contextualize why we need to take back our power, especially in the pandemic that we're in. The pandemic has caused a lot of confusion amongst people. People are confused. Number two, people do not know how to control their lives anymore. Relationships are broken. People have lost their jobs. People have lost money. People are divorcing due to this pandemic. That's why it is time to take back control, to take back our power. And that's what I'm advocating for. Take back the power.
What does it look like to lose one's power?
First of all, it's a feeling of hopelessness. Number two, it's a feeling of helplessness. You're no longer in control. You feel suicidal. You could also feel like, I'm a victim, there's nothing I can do. Those are the feelings when you lose your power.
Now, instead of taking things into your own hands and so trying to resolve them, would you suggest that somebody who feels the way that you just mentioned seeks professional help, perhaps?
It could be, but it's important that, first of all, that you try and control your situation. Very important. And you need to analyze what are the trigger points that makes you feel a sort of out of control or loss of power, that sense of loss of power. You need to figure out the trigger points. But medical help and professional help is also needed. But I think it's important for you first to look at yourself and control what you can control.
For somebody, watching this morning and thinking, it's easier said than done, saying take back your power, what words of advice do you have for them?
The first thing you need to do is to realize that happiness is your birthright. You know how we fight to get our health back? We must fight to get our happiness back, especially during these tough times. Number two, take up space and cement yourself wherever you are. Take control. Circumstances cannot control you. You must take control of the circumstances because we are human beings and we are capable of doing that. We are resilient creatures. Very important. So once you realize that you can take control of the circumstances, don't despair. Take your power back.
Dr. Mukoroli, as we're rounding off, any final words you'd like to leave us with on this topic of discussion?
I would like to conclude by saying that tough times do not last, but tough people do. Tough times do not last, but tough people do. So take your control back. Take your power back.
Well, thank you so much for your time and thank you for being here this morning.
You're welcome.
That was Dr. Joseph Mukoroli speaking to us this morning about taking your power back. We'll be right back after the short break.